Are you a fan of the Notting Hill Carnival, Stelios?
I know nothing about it.
Right. Well, you're going to learn something about it today.
Yeah.
The Notting Hill Carnival was it's a celebration of the Caribbean culture and community in London. And it's been going since 1966, as I understand it. And I don't think you can really say where it is at the moment is a high point of the Caribbean culture in London. But before we begin, if you want to support us, go to lotus.com, $5 a month, and watch Dan's excellent Brokenomics series. This one is a deep dive into Elon Musk's personal history and the things that he's done, the businesses he's built, how they've done, and where he's come to now, which is always good to have a fascinating sort of biopic on it. But anyway, so let's begin with the Notting Hill Carnival. Now, Visit London, the official tour guide, or the official visitor's guide, say, join the city's biggest street party and one of the most popular carnivals in London, as the streets of West London are filled with Caribbean colours, music, and flavours during the Notting Hill Carnival. I think that the ethnic particularity of this carnival is something that they can't help themselves but to try and emphasize. They really are like, look, this is the Caribbean. For anyone who doesn't know, that means the black community in London, and this is their festival. And so we're going to make a big deal out of it. And that means that essentially everything that happens there is kind of pinned on that community.
Yes. I saw a really interesting picture. And if we scroll up the article, I saw some pictures of some people who don't strike me necessarily as Caribbean. And if it is about celebrating Caribbean culture, I don't see how celebrating, let's say, Far East
Sure,
culture fits.
whatever. It's a carnival. It's not my thing, but I'm happy for them. I don't care about that.
Okay.
And so, okay, it's apparently quite a big thing. I mean, according to ITV, is thousands of people took part in the carnival, and they say, in fact, thousands took part in an exuberant adult parade. Right, that's interesting, isn't it?
That makes me a bit scared.
Yeah, well, you'll get to see why in a second. People were partying, quote unquote, atop floats, followed by drummers and dancers and things like this. Meanwhile, the sweet, smoky scent of jerk chicken filled the side streets. Like, this is a stereotypical carnival. And various celebrities were there, and it is expected that more than 2 million people will have taken to the streets of West London by the end of the bank holiday, as the carnival, Europe's biggest street party, celebrates 2 landmark anniversaries. And I mean, there's some footage around. I don't know. Can we play this in there without the sound, John, just so you can see? I don't know if that works, but you can see that there are there are tens of thousands of people there. I don't know if 2 million to me strikes me as a bit high, maybe, but I mean, who knows? There are lots of people there,
Yeah.
and as you can see, this is like the procession and lots of people going past it, and it's
Yeah, not all of them are celebrating the carnival.
No. The sort of carnival procession is in the middle for anyone who doesn't know. But anyway, the BBC characterized this as a celebration of the Windrush legacy, commemorating 75 years since the first Windrush arrivals.
Yeah.
London is a melting pot of diversity and culture, so that it's wonderful that young people really want to represent Britain as well as the native country of their parents and bring them together. So it's them to literally say, well, we're from the Caribbean and we live in Britain. Okay. It's the legacy and memories of the Windrush generation that have brought to Britain. Everyone here is just so proud of their origins and their descent.
Yeah.
Would you ever hear that for any native community in this country?
No, you're not supposed to be proud.
Exactly.
It's a bad thing.
Exactly. But I'm here with my Granada flag representing my mum and dad.
Yes.
Okay, I'm here with my English flag representing my mum and dad. Am I allowed to? No, of course you're not. Right. But that's the thing. It's all about this kind of promotion of a particular ethnic group when promoting other native ethnic groups. It's just not acceptable.
And also, if the erosion of national identity is the end goal,
well,
then one of the most powerful ways to destroy it is to momentarily empower other non-native national identities.
Yep.
Yes. And again, it's a divide and conquer that I think is what is being done.
Well, it's hard not to say that it's not. And also, it's hard to see how this really reflects well on the community that they're pinning this on, frankly, because I mean, it was all class. It's just all so classy. It's like, why? Yeah, very, very, very respectable community that they're just it's comical, actually.
I mean,
You go from the reporting and the cherry picked images they have, and then these videos are all over Twitter, right? And there are loads of them that we can't show because
yeah.
it's going to go on YouTube, right? So, like, you
Yeah.
just can't.
I just don't see how it's an issue of culture to jump on bridges and do things like that. Yeah,
There are so many of these videos,
yeah.
like, and a lot of them. I mean, I mean, honestly, I might ask Jack or whoever to censor this, to be honest, because I don't think that YouTube's going to be okay with this. But this was just going. I mean, they did say it's an adult parade, but okay, it's one thing the Caribbean community twerking on each other. It's another thing twerking on the cops. Like, why is he just that? Is that not sexual assault? Is that not like legally classified as sexual assault?
I don't know. Maybe he likes it or something.
Well, he walks away from it in a second,
Yes, yes.
actually. So I think he was told to stand there.
Maybe his wife saw
But
it.
he backs away from it. I don't think he's trying to solicit that.
Yeah.
But it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Like, there was a more famous one from 2017 where this female cop got pinned against a railing and dry humped.
How's that not something against women?
Well,
Act against women.
you would think so, and in fact, we'll get to it. I mean, I just come and check out the celebration of the Caribbean community. I wouldn't want them characterizing my community in this way. Just saying. But anyway, the Metropolitan Police were like, "Yeah, we're working hard to keep everyone safe at Notting Hill." How do you think that went?
Bad.
Yeah,
Usually it turns bad.
yeah. 8 stabbings, 275 arrests, and 1 police officer was sexually assaulted, and 2 were bitten.
What?
Well, they say a number of officers were assaulted over the course of 2 days. These included sexual assaults and 2 incidents where officers were bitten, as well as 8 people being stabbed.
Well, I can't say anything right now because I don't have anything good in mind to say.
Yes, that's exactly right. You would be surprised at how many machetes were present, actually. There was a person running through the streets with a machete. Here's him being arrested, thank God.
Was it a celebratory machete?
It was
A proud machete? Machete don't text type?
I honestly couldn't tell you, but this is not. This is the image that made it onto the front page of the Times. I mean, just amazing.
Well, this is what you get when you basically preach impunity. That if there are people who constantly act in a heinous way,
yeah,
they constantly get away with it because there are some, let's say, bad people who are just psychologizing constantly, and they're saying, "Well, it's okay. They grew up in a bad place.
It's not their fault. It's society's fault that machetes
yeah.
exist, and he decided to get one."
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, 8 people stabbed, 2 of them critically. Obviously, no one died, thankfully. So that's a good start. But of course, this means, well, hang on a second. This is not really sustainable. The police say the Met Union police bosses have been like, well, the level of violence at Notting Hill Carnival has become unacceptable and unsustainable. As 1 officer was sexually assaulted and 6 others are reportedly bitten now. So this is a couple of days afterwards, and say, well, no, it was 308 arrests actually across the bank holiday weekend. More than 50 officers were assaulted by being kicked, punched, spat on, bitten, headbutted, and even urinated upon from upper floor windows. Amazing. You can't have it every single year. Come Tuesday morning, we're contemplating these types of injuries. These numbers of injuries and sexual assaults and stabbings. It really is awful, says the vice chairman of the Metropolitan Police Federation, Rick Pryor. Well, there we go. That's wonderful. I'm not really sure we should be showing that video on YouTube. And I guess, thank goodness, that the Notting Hill Carnival organisers just condemn acts of violence. They say they deplore all acts of violence after a number of stabbings. Those who carried out the attacks have nothing to do with Notting Hill Carnival or its values. No comment on the degeneracy or sexual assault, though.
Do they condemn them wherever they come from? Or
they didn't. Well, they just said all acts of violence, so let's assume that they do. But they added that such stabbings were tragically all too common in our society. Yeah, our society is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, right? Because I'm not part of our society. I'm part of my society. I'm not part of that society. And in fact, they say, noting that 12,786 knife offences were carried out in London over the last 12 months until the end of March, according to the ONS.
Well, this is something that
12,000.
the mayor of London should be looking instead of
Wow.
focusing on the ULEZ things.
Well, you would think so, but remember, Sadiq Khan ran on a platform of reducing stop and search because it was racist, you
Yeah.
see. And he appears to be the direct cause of the increase in stabbings, frankly. But anyway, just a quick thing on that, really. The Notting Hill Carnival is exactly as disgusting as it looks, and I personally would never go to it.
Thanks for watching that segment from the podcast Lotus Eaters. If you enjoyed it and fancy supporting us, then you can go to our merch store and buy a mug, a hoodie, or anything else that we've got on there at the merch.lotuseaters.com. And if you're interested in learning more about what we do on a day-to-day basis, you can follow us on social media on Twitter at lotuseaters_com and also on Getter at lotuseaters_com. Thank you very much and goodbye.